Diana Stobo is an expert and trusted voice on a host of subjects, including digestive health, food as a modality for change, hormone balance, sex, aging well, weight management, wellness travel, and more. She's a classically trained chef, nutrition expert, and an early pioneer of the raw food movement. Diana found herself nursing significant health issues in her early 30s and knew that food could be the key to regaining her health. So embarked on a journey through nutrition and detoxification, successfully achieving that. Diana is an award-winning author of 15 books and founded and runs the Retreat Costa Rica, an award-winning healing hotel and wellness retreat, where she's known for her ability to create tools and practices that empower and facilitate transformation, fostering freedom and empowerment in people's lives. Welcome to Pure Health Hub, Diana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to have you. All right. Now, pardon?
Great to be here. Am I in Australia right now?
Yeah, you are. You are here for all intents.
Transported.
For all intents and purposes, you're right here, sharing a drink. Now, you trained as a chef. How did you end up here as a global wellness industry leader, author, coach, and healer, transforming people's lives?
Well, gosh, I can't remember how many years ago it was now, but I became very ill. I was very ill. I was in the hospital. I had ulcers, bleeding ulcers. I had gastritis. I was precancerous in my gut. And even though I was already a healthy eater and only prepared, farm to table foods as a chef, I obviously just had too many toxins in my system from whatever environment, stresses, could have been medicines that I used when I was trying to conceive my children. There's a lot of reasons we don't know for sure, overgrowth of candida, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I had to really rewind and take a look at what was causing my issues. And when it comes down to it, inflammation causes all disease. So I looked at the foods that caused inflammation, and I created a book called Get Naked Fast, my first book. And I was actually talking, I should say, I took away the 6 no's: no dairy, no wheat, no sugar, no meat, no caffeine, no alcohol. And I called them the no-nos because it's not like you can't have them forever. You just have to minimize them. And really our diet is all about that, right? It's all about meats and sugars. And so when you start pulling back, I immediately got better. I cured my thyroid. I cured my gastritis. I lost 10 pounds in 10 days, which is, a program that I created called the Naked Challenge. But I started talking, Whole Foods in the Bay Area in California asked me to speak. And so I started speaking, and then they sent me to all the Whole Foods throughout the nation. And people said, how can I get naked fast? Because I was like talking about being comfortable in your body naked. How can I get naked fast? And I said, you know what? I'm going to write a guide to stripping away the foods that weigh you down. And so my Get Naked Fast book was a bestseller out of the car. The trunk of my car. I just drove around, did my talks. People just bought everything I had, and they wanted to know. And it was a transition to raw book, which, it wasn't just about stripping that away, because when you strip it away, what do you eat? And so it was about creating recipes that made sense. Of course, this was in 2009, 2010, and we've grown so much as a global awareness wellness place that people understand now the benefits of anti-inflammatory foods. It's all over the internet. You can buy them here and there, et cetera. So as a pioneer, I definitely started that movement along with a handful of other really smart people.
Yeah, it's interesting, extraordinary, because I think even now, though, there's a hunger and a thirst for this knowledge. And I guess that's because information changes as we go. But you're right, yes. There is an enormous awareness about it, but there's still a lot to learn and there's still a lot to share, right? So
it's deeper. It gets deeper. It's like the onion skin, the layers just get deeper and deeper. But people get overwhelmed, and it is overwhelming. So it's better just to take off one layer at a time and to really kind of test your body along the way. Because if you try to eat the whole onion in one, fell swoop, you're just going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get a stomach ache. You can't digest it. We really have to take a look at where our body lands on it. There are people who take it so far the other way that they can't eat anything, which is a whole other story.
Well, and that's completely unrealistic, right? This is the thing. It's just trying to find this happy medium that is not poisoning us. And I'm trying not to be melodramatic, but
well, no, but it is true, and it's to no one's fault. From the layman's perspective, we were just taught this is convenient food. This is the way we should eat. We have a food pyramid that makes absolutely no sense in today's world. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that we have been indoctrinated to believe that have been demystified, and we're looking at it now, going, okay, now what do we do? Well, we can get into this, but even veganism, for example, I think veganism is not the way to be. We're not made that way, but it is a great healing tool, just like raw food is still an excellent healing tool. If you ever want to just change your DNA and really strip away any disease in your body, fasting will clear disease because there's nothing to feed off of it, and raw food as well. Because the enzymes that we get from raw foods, and I'm talking plant-based, that's it, just plant-based raw foods, will eat away at disease in our body because the enzymatic activity is so powerful. And, our body already wants to heal. We just have to give it the tools, right?
Yeah.
As soon as it's perfect medicine. And herbs. We don't need enough herbs. We think about stuffing a turkey at Thanksgiving or putting some rosemary on our chicken for a pasta dish, but we don't really think about the impact they have on our system.
And spices, right, would fit into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of.
That's the original medicine, right? Yeah. Herbs and spices, anything that grows, pick it up. Even poisons to this day, there are some plants and animals that are poisonous that have medicinal effects because you twist the system. You kind of, I'm thinking about like cactuses now and all the peyotes and ayahuasca that goes on.
Yeah.
But or the magic mushrooms and all that. These are just little devices that kind of open your mind. And of course, too much of poison is poison, but just a little bit kind of can shift you out of your funk where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And a really good analogy with ayahuasca. And yes.
Sorry about that ding, by the way. I have a ding coming in. I don't know how to turn it off.
I'm glad that's you. I was thinking it was me. And
was me. I'm dinging.
Oh, that's okay then. That's fine. Ding all you want. All right. So I think you've answered a number of things there. Let's talk about then, what types of diseases have you seen healed or reduced in severity due to the implementation of food to improve health? Or, have you got an example of it?
Well, I can give you a blanket statement. Anytime I've done a 10-day challenge with a group of people, they usually come in desperation with ailments of arthritis, blood work. They can't get insurance because their blood is so bad, diabetes. The list goes on. And after 10 days of doing a detox, they go to the doctor, diabetes is done. Now, of course, as soon as they go back to eating the foods they were eating, it's going to go spike again. But the blood workup, I have people who said, I can't get insurance. They told me to go on a cleanse because my blood is so dirty. And then after 10 days, they go in there and they're like, unbelievable. What did you do? So, wow. Yeah. And not everybody exposes all their underlying diseases and ailments, but those for sure are, in fact, even at the Retreat Costa Rica, people who come, this is amazing, and not on purpose because we don't ask them to do it, but they get off their antidepressants. Right. And they do it. And what happens is you'll be sitting at breakfast with a group because it's a very community-based. You go by yourself, and next thing you know, you're all friends with everybody there because it's small. And people will say, oh my gosh, I forgot I haven't taken my antidepressants for 5 days. And like, you didn't know? And they're like, no, but I feel great. So who knows? Wow. Environmental, inflammation, the foods, we don't know for sure. Yeah. But I also noticed that people will say, it's so weird, like my arthritis is gone. And they're only there for 3 days. So it's amazing how quickly the body can react to
and repair if it's under the right treatment. Right. Yeah. So I think we often think, oh, well, I'm too fat and old and in pain now, so we'll just forget about it. I'll
Oh,
just
totally. No, I definitely have gone down that road
yeah.
as I entered I'm just a few years away from 60. And I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, is this it?
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much good I've been doing, is this just like, am I going, did I fall off a cliff? And then you realize it's just like, okay, check in with yourself. Like, what are you really doing? And what can you do to reset? Because resetting is really important.
That's it, isn't it? It's recalibrating. It's getting the head out of front and doing things like a retreat. Obviously, you can do that. We'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But now, so you remain committed to the raw food philosophy as part of a sort of a snapshot or a short, sharp, recalibrate.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned the key benefits to that, and that's, clearly but not necessarily as a full-time thing, right? Just a recalibration.
I think it really depends on the person. If they have a long history of inflammation, disease, or anything, they might have to go a year or two, just really hyper focusing to reset. But a lot of people are just, a few weeks away from resetting the system. It's really about finding your caliber. The problem with eating raw food is that you feel so good that when you finally eat regular food, you're like, oh gosh, it doesn't feel so good,
Yeah.
But I believe there is, if you were to maintain 50% raw, which is, a green juice and a salad, and that's it, and then eat the rest of your food, you're pretty good.
Okay, so you're not suggesting a commitment to it 100% of the time, as long as you're eating a lot, a big amount of raw foods in your diet, as you say, with fresh juices.
Well, think of it as a reset, right? If you do 10 days of a reset, then what do you do after that? You go, okay, well, I'm going to incorporate, fruits in the morning, a smoothie, a salad, and then I'll have dinner. Done.
Yeah. So it's maintaining that, absolutely. All right. Now, you do personally run the Naked Challenge program, which you touched on before. Tell me a little bit more about this. And again, how successful are you you mentioned it before, at getting people to maintain this lifestyle when they return home?
Well, it's funny. It's actually, I love this question because I was just telling my staff, I am not a police officer. It's not my job to make sure that you continue it. My job is to teach you and give you the tools and to make sure that you're completely confident in how to take care of yourself. In not only what you eat, but how you think, how you process emotions. Like really, it's a whole process of understanding surrender, the things that we cannot change. Right? Things we hold on to so much, and it's cumbersome. So how do we get a mindset that surrenders these thoughts, these emotions, and appreciates the food that's coming in, and also understanding what the food does when it enters your body? Nobody thinks about that. They put it in their mouth, it tastes good, they chew it, and then hopefully the next morning they poop it out. Sorry, I said poop. Yeah. But they don't understand what happens once it's here, like there's a whole bunch of, stuff going on inside the system, and the food, the body grabs what it needs. It takes bits and pieces of everything you put in. If you don't give it anything it needs, then it's starving. It may be 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, but it's still starving for nutrients. Yeah. So once they understand that, what they do after, who knows? Yeah. But I will say a lot of people need to come back and reset. So we do it again and again. And they love that because we all, come on, everybody likes a good meal and some, a shot of tequila once in a while.
Exactly.
And then when we
I think it can take a while to reset and change habits, right? So it's not a bad thing to make it an annual thing if it's possible, or, a reasonably regular, retreat until you can, change your thinking.
But you know what, Linda, what I've learned with my clients that I've had over the years is there's something about when you're detoxing and you're working on your thought processes, your mind, how your mindset is. There's a lot of tears that happen at my retreat. There's a lot of letting go. They can't go back. They'll never go back to the way they were. They're changed forever. So they always have that tool set. So they may go back 50%, they may go back 30%, who knows, but they have grown. So it's good to continually grab that information to remind yourself how powerful you are.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't leave there without taking at least, a change of, 20, 30%. And then, if you needed to reiterate that. I think we're just learning lifestyle elements that we haven't been exposed to forever. And I think we know this deep down, but unless it's reinforced, and even things like, the menus, learning how to cook, learning how to cook well with, you can do great things with minimal veggies at the market, so it's these lessons, I think, that are really important. Now, the Retreat Costa Rica, of course, is a certified and highly valued member of the Healing Hotels of the World group. Now, what are the benefits? Why should we travel for healing, or to heal, or to do a program? Why is it better to do that, do you think?
Because when you're away from your surroundings in a place that is nurturing, well, specifically the retreats on a crystal mountain. So even if you do nothing, you're going to have a life-changing experience. But you have to step away, and they call it vacation, because you have to vacate your current situation to put yourself in the situation that you desire. And the way that the retreat specifically is designed is like a blank canvas. We keep everything very light. It's not constricted or decorated in any way that gets your mind rolling. There's nothing to, trigger you into the past ways. And it allows you to really focus on yourself. Because you can do a detox at home, but you're going to have to answer the calls. The kids are going to be at your feet. Your husband wants to, talk to you about stuff that's just like, you can just say, no, it's all me. Traveling, healing vacations are like, they're the wave of the future. It's no longer go on a vacation and get yourself completely wasted and eat junk food and, jump off, little swan pool dillybobs.
Up to the wet bar.
Yeah. I mean, people want to go and come back feeling better than when they left.
But, even getting on the plane, right? Like, it's frantic until, as we were talking about before, we traveled a lot for business and for pleasure. Sometimes it's just manic until you get on that plane and it's like, there's no more I can do. There's no more I can do. I'm going to enjoy the 13 hours to LA because I just, it's the only thing, that's the start of it. So I think you're right with the healing, to be able, because you're taking yourself out of your situation, and, and sometimes taking yourself into another culture just helps to rewire, because there's something else to think about. So you're not obsessing about, everything at home. And so I think it's really helpful to be able to take it out.
I love what you just said. You're rewiring your system. It's exactly what it is. Yeah. And you can't do that with the same wires and the same plugs and all that. You have to see and be somewhere else.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even I've done retreats that are only a couple hours away, because it's convenient. You want to, I don't know. There's always that I can just get in my car and drive back home. That feels like I'm still connected. Isn't that strange? Like, if I go to Europe, I'm in a whole different world. It's a different time zone. It's different everything. So, even though I'm kind of working, I'm so disconnected.
Yeah. And I think, those little short, sharp ones are great, again, to keep you on track, really, of just letting go. And so I think those short ones are good. I think they're a good opportunity to just remind yourself that taking care of you is number one.
Well, today we're so into our computers, right? Everything is on a computer, so you can't really escape it. And I recognized, it was funny. I had a dinner for my man's birthday on Friday, and we had been going strong for 2 weeks, like getting up at 5 a.m. and working until 10 p.m, and just a lot going on over here. And I had to get ready for dinner, and I thought, because there was so much more for me to do. And I'm like, dinner felt like a vacation,
Yeah.
it was like just going out to dinner was a vacation. And then the next day was Saturday, and my automatic instinct, because we were going to go to the beach and we decided it was a weekend for Father's Day and all that. And I thought I was stressing the whole time because there was so much more to do. Just taking 2 days off was like, I was having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And then I realized you just let it go, because the rest of the world, we work 7 days a week now, most of us.
Yeah, we do. And I have to make a concerted effort to just, shut it all down as well.
Yep.
Otherwise you could work, but I'm much better at that now. I would just keep going until I fell over, which was half my problem, which is why I ended up there. So I'm being a lot more brutal with my time, but I think we have to, and I think these are the lessons that we need to be sharing. You do have to stop and calm the mental load. It's too much. That's because that just impacts everything physically, right?
Everything,
spiritually, emotionally.
So I call myself a lymphomaniac, which is probably why because I tend to swell. And I discovered over the course of my lifetime that I don't swell necessarily because of the foods I eat. I swell because of, well, first of all, other people's emotions. There's an emotional component to that. So when you can't process the emotions, you hold, right? And how many times have you said, God, I feel so bloated. God, I feel I feel so gross today. I don't know what I did differently. Yeah. It's because of that. And B, I don't think I said A, but now B, it's the mindset that we play on ourselves, because we go straight to punishment when we don't feel good. Right? We go into that state. We're like, oh, what did I do wrong? What's going on? Why do I feel so bad today? Am I going to get my work done? I need to get some rest. And then C, it's the sleep. It's the actual rest. Yeah. If we don't rest and reset, then our body keeps going, and we're dehydrated, we're worn out, and we swell.
Absolutely. And I think we see more of these, outcomes or symptoms as we get older. But when you're in your 30s and 40s, right, you think you're just invincible and, sleep, I'll do that when I'm dead. You've got a business, you've got family, you've got school, you've got everything going on. And I think it's really important for me to be trying to get these messages to that age as well, because, I can see them doing it, and it's like I'm watching myself in the mirror. It's that guy, and they're like, no, we're all sweet, it's all
we're fine.
So, yeah, just keep going. So it's really important to get these messages out, and I can see you are a huge proponent of that, and I want to thank you for joining us on Pure Health Hub, Diana. It's been a treat to chat to you. I hope we can do it again, because I think there are so many different verticals that we could be talking about in this space. So have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.